Okay, I got you. The Galaxy Note 10 or Note 10 Plus is not for you. It's too expensive, it has too many compromises, blah da da blah da da blah, you're not gonna get one. But you still want a new phone, and you're looking for some advice. Well, I've gathered a couple of really great phones at different prices that should fit just about any budget. And actually, they're pretty good. I'm gonna say they're pretty good. I'll tell you what they all are right after this.
This is, you know you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get into the video. So yeah, everyone's talking about the Note 10. Everyone's going to get it. I'm getting it. And you just don't want it for some reason. You don't want it. That's fair. That's cool. But you still need a new phone. So I decided to do a little digging and see if I could come up with a couple of suggestions of really great phones at good prices where you might not feel like as much compromise is made, or at the very least you have a great phone at a great price. And yes, not all of these are going to be a great match for you, but my guess is at least one of them will be. And they're all Android. I'm not going to do iOS. I know most people who have gone from Notes or Samsung phones are not going to go to an iPhone. Not most of them anyway. I'll have a different video for that maybe. But besides that, let's just talk a little bit about some of these phones that are at a pretty good price. And I'm going to start with number one, the one that I use every single day right now, the one phone that took me away from Samsung, amazingly earlier this year. And that is the OnePlus 7 Pro. This thing is amazing. I love this thing, the 90 hertz screen, the fast storage, the absolute blazing speeds on this thing, and a serviceable enough camera. And if you use Gcam, it's actually a really excellent camera. There's a couple things I really like about OnePlus. Number one, they're updating this thing all the time. And none of those updates have slowed this phone down at all. As a matter of fact, this thing is just as fast as it's ever been. I'm completely always over the moon excited about how fast this thing is. And maybe that's one of the reasons that I ended up going with the OnePlus 7 Pro over my Note 9, because most Samsung phones over time got a little bit slower. Now, the Note 9 did a great job of not doing that, but this thing is just straight up faster. It's just faster. Obviously, it's got the best processor right now, the 855 from Snapdragon. It's got 8 gigs of RAM, or you can get the 12 gigs of RAM, and a 256 gigs of storage, and no SD slot, and no headphone jack. Again, if that sort of thing kind of bothers you, okay. But you're only paying at most $750 for one of these. And at this point, you probably can find it for even less. And there's always trade-in deals. So when you're talking about $600-ish or so after you find some deals, this phone is really hard to beat. And right now, it's my everyday phone. I absolutely recommend this phone. Maybe you don't want to give up the Note series. So the Galaxy Note 9 is still a great buy. I still love the way this thing looks. It performs really well. The fingerprint sensor is on the back. It's not on under the screen. Some people don't like it under the screen. The cameras are great. The performance is good. You get the S Pen. Oh, baby, the S Pen. And I know one thing that most of you out there are super happy about. You get the headphone jack. I know, over the moon excited about that one. Of course, you only get 128 gigs of storage on this, but you do get SD card storage on this one. So you can expand that beyond what you're probably going to use anytime soon. And really no compromises. Obviously, this is an older processor, so of course it's going to be a little bit slower than now. But let's be honest about some things. This thing is super snappy. More than enough storage, and with DeX on board, listen, you basically have a desktop built into this phone. And from what we understand, they're going to roll out that new update where you can use DeX on your laptop and stuff, although I'm not real sure why you would do that, but apparently it's coming. It's got a lot of great integrations, and of course the wireless charge, no reverse wireless charge, but the Note 9 is still a wonderful and amazing phone that I would absolutely use today. If it wasn't for my OnePlus 7 Pro, to be honest, I just really love that phone. But this is a great phone, and you can get this for around $600, just depending on where you're looking. Still a really great buy. Now, maybe you don't want a Note, but you do want a Samsung phone. Then if you have about $700, you can grab the S10 from this year. The S10, not the S10e, the S10 for about $700. Really great deal. It's the middle of the three. Remember, it's not the largest one, it's not the smallest one, it's the middle one. It still has the headphone jack if you like that. It's got SD support if you like that. It's got all the things that you are really upset about the Note 10 not having. And the processor with the 855 is legit. This phone is awesome. And at the price that it keeps dropping, it's really hard to beat this phone. Now, I have other phones that are going to be less expensive that are great for the performance. But price performance wise, an S10 at $700, and you might even be able to find it cheaper, especially one that's used, is very difficult to beat. Don't forget features like reverse wireless charge, which is super cool if you have like earbuds or something you want to charge them up. S10 can do it. And of course, let's not forget that it has DeX built in, something that I think is a really underrated feature. So yes, the S10, definitely an incredible value here, and for about $700-ish, definitely gets my thumbs up. Now maybe you don't want a Samsung phone and you want to try something different. Well, the Huawei P30 Pro is that different phone. But let me tell you something, you are sacrificing nothing. This thing has all the bells and whistles you could ever hope for. The Huawei P30 Pro is an amazing phone with an amazing amount of abilities. Like for people in America who have never had a Huawei phone, you're gonna be blown away. This thing is flagship level of performance. You get 8 gigs of RAM, you get 3 cameras just like you do on the S10 series, you get a 10 times zoom, a night mode that is second to none, like amazing night mode. And as a matter of fact, a lot of people have said that even the normal camera quality on the P30 Pro rivals that of Pixel phones. Now that is some high praise. Whether you think Pixel is better or not, the fact that some people are even arguing that point is amazing. It has reverse wireless charge, normal wireless charge, super zap charge, where you get an amazing amount of percentage in just a couple of minutes. They've been really well known for that. An incredibly huge, beautiful screen, and a processor that it's not a Snapdragon, but it's super fast. Everything about this phone is amazing, including the colors. Oh, they're beautiful, man. But it is a little bit higher in price. Having said that, it's still lower than the Note series and definitely getting performance at that level. And some features that you're just not getting anywhere else. Like that 10 times zoom, like I said, I just can't say enough about it. And the nighttime shooting features it's really not, listen, no competition. This thing is legit. One phone that came through and really shocked a lot of people for the value it gives is a Pixel 3a XL. This thing's only about $500, but let me tell you something, the value here is amazing. Now, it's not the top of any particular list. The processor's not the best. It's the Snapdragon 670, and it doesn't have like the best screen or anything like that, but the camera you get is amazing. The AI that they use to make the pictures look the way they do on the Pixel line of phones is amazing. That night sight, next level, and everything that Google does for the integration, especially like having your phone make calls for you and the screening feature, like all the Google Assistant stuff is really next level, and you don't really get that on any other phone. And yeah, it's not the best build quality of all these other phones I've talked about, but the price, performance value, plus the fact that you get up to the minute Google updates, that's what you're getting. Some people want that. The ability to take great pictures and have a phone that stays updated. And much like iPhones that get updates as soon as Apple puts them out, Pixels do as well. So that's something to consider, where a lot of these other phones have to wait for the manufacturer and sometimes even the carrier to get the update. Pixel phones get the update just like that. I would be really remiss if I haven't talked about the LG G8. You see, in the tech community, there's a couple of tech people who've really been trying to shout out from the rooftops, really, that the LG G8 is one of the most underrated phones of the year. Technically T, Jay Williams, Everyday Computer Solutions, all of them are out there shouting it out, saying the LG G8 is a lot better than most people think. And it's probably just because LG hasn't had their name out there and haven't had the really big kind of conferences where all the tech influencers go to that no one really talks about them. The camera's supposed to be good, the batteries are good, and let me tell you something. While I haven't used it myself, the fact that those three guys are saying that it's a great phone, that's all I need to know. The LG G8 is definitely a flagship level phone. The price is not bad if you get it on sale or if you get it with activation, as you can see here. It's right about that mid-level, but the processor, the 855 Snapdragon, is top level. The camera quality is top level. So if you've never dipped your toe into LG before, I know you might be a little bit worried, but when I see people like Jay Will and Technically T talking about how great this camera is and the phone is, I'm not that worried about it. So if you're looking for a phone out of all of these that you maybe are just like, I'll just take a chance on something, try the G8. I think maybe you might be surprised. And this last one's really a surprise because for under $300, you can get an in-display fingerprint sensor, 4,000 milliamp hour battery, and get this, 6.4 AMOLED display smartphone. That is nuts, under $300. The Xiaomi 9T, good Lord, the value in this thing exceeds everything. Now remember, you can buy 2 of these for the price of some of the other phones I've talked about. And man, oh man, oh man, what a great looking phone this is. They have a pop-up camera just like the OnePlus 7, so the entire screen is uninterrupted, no holes or anything like that. 960 frames per second slow motion. They're really taking pride in the camera on this phone, and they've done a really great job. Xiaomi has done a great job on that. This phone, the value for this thing is amazing. Like if you have some kids that you need to give them a phone, but you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money, this might be it. As a matter of fact, if you just have a couple extra bucks and let's say that you don't really want to get one of the high-end phones, you just need something to hold, maybe even for like traveling or something, I don't know. This is a really good pickup. $300 for all of this processing power. Now, yes, Snapdragon 730, not the latest and greatest, but you're only spending $300 and you're getting 90% of all the other great things about smartphones today. And back to the other thing is like, how much RAM and processing power do you actually need on your phone? If you're a gamer, sure, I get it. If you're editing video, okay, sure. But most of you are not doing that. This might be the phone that you actually need to purchase next. If you're not one of the high-end users, the Xiaomi Mi 9 is probably it. But at the end of the day, all these phones are great. Which one would you pick up? Tell me in the comments below. Tell me which one, if I maybe even missed one, that I should hit up in the next video, because all these phones are great. The prices are right, and if you don't want a Galaxy Note 10 or Note 10 Plus, I'm sure any of these pickups would be good. If this video helped you out in any way, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. And if it didn't, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I'm here every single week, having a blast. Hope to see you again real soon. Peace and love, peace and love.